Well, first of all, thanks for having invited me here. I'm learning a lot, so I'm very happy. I will tell you something about my group, so it will be easier for you to understand what we do and why we do it. I'm part of the Brain Center in Trieste. The Brain Center was founded many years ago by a group of neuroscientists who were unhappy because they were divided among several departments, and they would like to join themselves a little bit more, but it was impossible. So what they did was to invent a virtual department, which is just the Brain Center. Of course, this center had the purpose to facilitate research, of course, facilitate teaching, of course, but also to reach out to the public. The original idea to do this was that to get money, of course. The idea was politicians can give the money for research. Politicians have to be elected by the people, so if the people will be convinced that research is good, maybe they will elect good politicians, and maybe that way they will give us money. I have to say that it did not work. Actually, it is not working. But we are very happy with what we started to do, and so we are continuing. Just a few examples. The coordinator mentioned the Neuroscience Cafe. What are they? Science Cafe are very common initiatives all over the world. What we do is that every second Thursday in the month, two scientists, join the gross public in a bar, in a cafe, and they speak of something of their interest. All the time there are two. The idea is that there are two because if people does not like what one says, maybe they will like what the other one says. And you see that there is quite the cafe is always plenty of people. Discussion takes almost half of the time, a little bit more often, so a great space to discussion. And what it is important is that the subject, the topics of discussion is often proposed, suggested by people, so we answer to what they would like to know. They are given at 6 p.m. when the people works, so the attendees mostly are middle-aged people and retired ones. The visibility, of course, is upon themselves. We have a small class of people who come every meeting or all the time. They are very well affectionated. The other things which we do, which is much wider, it is at a national level, is what we call Olympic neuroscience. Now, Olympics is quite a common activity in high school. They have Olympics of chemistry, or physics, of Greek, Latin, whatever it is, but they do not have Olympics of neuroscience. Neuroscience is something very particular, you know. I have not to remind you that neuroscience is your brain, is the part of you who is listening to me. Sometimes people forget this. There is not a teacher of neuroscience, so in the schools. So the students have to study by themselves, and we provide the textbook and whatever they need to study and to take part in the competition. There are 3 levels. We have a neuroscience in every region in Italy, and he coordinates the teachers in the schools. There is a first level in the schools. The 5 best students take part to the regional level, the 3 best ones to the national level, and who wins the national level participates to the international one. Here, visibility is very large because teachers are involved, families are involved, and mass media like to say the winner is in our region, the winner went sometimes in some place, and so on. Another thing that we like to do is a photographic competition which we call Art of Science. Actually, this was thought not for the public, but for the scientists themselves. A lot of good young scientists produce wonderful images in their laboratory. But these wonderful images are always confined in the lab or sometimes in some very good paper, which, however, is confined to very few people. So we said, why not to show these figures in the city? Why not? And also, this is a national competition. And so what we do is to make this competition, and the best 20, 30 pictures are posted, as you see, on very wide posters in the city, where you see publicity or whatever things. When we do this, you see images of science. And of course, there are shows, exhibition in small rooms, but the best award is for a scientist is to have his work on the city. And the visibility, of course, is complete to every kind of people. The last thing I want to tell you is this Brain Awareness Week. It is an event which is organized all over the world the second week of March. This is quite conventional. In this week we make exhibition, conferences, open laboratories. Here you see examples of people who is dissecting eyes or who is dissecting brain. But also there are theaters where we ask writers to write the story of scientists, and then it is represented. So these are the examples of what we do and trying to engage people and let know what science does. Basically.